from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 6.
Today is World Prematurity Day, but as the March of Dimes works to raise awareness on premature births, here in Fargo, it's lost its presence.
Valley News Team's Rose Itzkovitz looks into funding cuts and what it means for the organization here in Fargo.
Diane Droege of the March of Dimes says the need for women and babies health programs in North Dakota is large, and that's largely due to disparity.
The preterm birth rate among American Indian women in North Dakota is 48% higher than the rate of other women.
The March of Dimes wants to start at least 3 programs to help decrease that gap.
One of those is group pregnancy care, but that's one of the things that we are looking to fund right now in North Dakota.
But that's if funding allows. An anonymous source tells us that nationally, the nonprofit had a goal last year to cut $28 million in spending. Many local offices were closed, like this one here in Fargo. The new office renters tell me it had been vacated since at least September. Droege says lately it's a struggle for all nonprofits, in part due to the economy.
All nonprofits across the board have had a couple of tough years since 2008.
And a crowded nonprofit market.
With the advent of social media, it's a lot easier for these nonprofits and other businesses in general to contact you. And just the sheer number of nonprofits has gone up.
But Droege says cutting costs of buildings helps keep the money where it needs to go. In Fargo, Rose Itzkovitz, Valley News Live.
And the March of Dimes says a new maternal child health director for Fargo has been hired. Also, no word on whether another office will open, but we're told many directors are now working virtually on that.
With the weekend upon us, it would be nice to hear that our weather is going to be improving each day. Let's begin by finding out about tonight's conditions. Hutch?
Well, we saw a lot of gray skies. Temperatures were on the cool side thanks to a north wind. We're very cool up in the Devil's Lake Basin, 18 there. Holding on to those 20s here in the FM area and 40s in South Dakota. No 70s today. A little bit of snow starting to show up in our far southern counties along the South Dakota border, stretching into Otter Tail County. And that will continue to drift south and east this evening. We'll see temperatures in the low 20s by bedtime tonight. North wind continues. And in Grand Forks, we'll be kissing the teens by bedtime. It does look like a chance for some snow during the overnight hours, and there is warmer weather to talk about, too. We'll do all of that here in just a few moments.
All right. Thank you, Hutch.
You bet.
And make sure you have the Valley News Live Storm Team weather app so you can keep up with the weather anytime, anywhere. You'll get the latest forecasts and conditions so that you can plan your day. All you have to do is search VNL Weather in the App Store and download it for free.
North Dakota Border Patrol officers have arrested a man tied to a street gang that President Donald Trump has vowed to destroy as part of his crackdown on crime. Amara Salvatrucha, or MS-13 gang member, was arrested by Grand Forks sector agents. The 39-year-old citizen and national of El Salvador, Central America, was arrested and was in the U.S. illegally. Record checks confirmed the identity of the man and that he had previously been ordered to be removed from the U.S. back in 2013. A follow-up investigation also discovered the subject to be a member of the MS-13 gang. He's in the Grand Forks County Jail pending removal proceedings. To report suspicious activity to the U.S. Border Patrol, contact Grand Forks sector at 1-800-982-4077.
A man was injured this afternoon after police say he was holding on to the side of a pickup, fell off, and then was run over by the rear wheels. Emergency crews were called out to the area just southeast of I-94 and Cheyenne Street in West Fargo shortly after noon today. After investigating, they found that a 22-year-old man was riding on the running boards of the pickup and fell off again before being run over. The man was taken by ambulance to a local hospital. Authorities have not released the man's name or given an update on his condition.
The man responsible for the murder of a West Fargo woman back in 1995 will remain behind bars after his appeal was rejected. Barry Garcia was 16 years old when he shot and killed Cheryl Tendelin. His attorneys filed an appeal based on a new state law that bans sentences for juveniles without the possibility of parole. But North Dakota Supreme Court justices said the law was passed after Garcia filed his appeal, and it would be up to a judge whether the law applies retroactively to him. Garcia is the only current inmate in North Dakota who is sentenced to life without parole for a crime committed as a juvenile.
Attorney General Wayne Stenehjem has ordered a California-based company to stop doing business in North Dakota for violating North Dakota's consumer fraud and telephone solicitation laws. Vehicle Protection Department LLC offers extended vehicle warranties to car owners. Stenehjem's office claims that owner Jason Roden violated state laws and has not cooperated with the investigation. The order is effective immediately.
The North Dakota Department of Transportation is getting $226,000 in federal grants to support the reconstruction of transportation infrastructure damaged by natural disasters. U.S. Senators Heidi Heitkamp and John Hoeven say the grant will help ensure that roads and transportation facilities in the state can continue to be used safely. The funds will help to support the rebuilding of roads and other transportation infrastructure damaged on federal lands due to rain and snow.
Rural EMS services could be facing funding cuts, with some areas more drastic than others. North Dakota lawmakers heard testimony today about how changes to the state's Rural Emergency Medical Services grant are affecting rural ambulance providers. The health department says funding for the program is down about 10%, but some ambulance services say their grant funding has been cut by as much as 80%. One lawmaker suggests the only real solution is for all agencies that receive grant money to take equal cuts.
My suggestion would be to return and cut everybody down 10% of what they had before, because that's about how much less funding there was for the program across the state.
The committee says it hopes to have a proposal for solutions at the next meeting in February.
A Minnesota task force has set new limits on opioid prescriptions by doctors who participate in the state's Medicaid program. The rules won't take effect until they're approved by the State Human Services Commissioner. Doctors who exceed the new limit for more than half of their patients will receive warnings and undergo training. They could eventually face removal from the Medicaid program if they don't reduce their dosage amounts. Medicaid covers about 20% of the state of Minnesota's population. The limits will only apply to outpatient prescriptions meant to manage short-term or acute pain.
Dozens of local organizations are getting a helping hand thanks to shoppers this weekend. For the 19th year, West Acres is hosting their It's a Wonderful Night event. Tickets are $5 and all the proceeds go to local nonprofits in the area. Shoppers will get exclusive deals during the event at select stores. West Acres says through the years they have raised more than $700,000 from the event. Tickets can be bought at participating charities or at West Acres. The event is this Sunday from 6 to 9.
The weather can be challenging at times, but Fargo still gets the nod for being one of the best places to retire. Details later on Valley News Live at 6.
Up next, a couple 100,000 gallons of oil can make a big mess. The latest on the cleanup underway at a Keystone pipeline in South Dakota.